Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? This is Zack Griset with Buildbox. We're going to do a little live Q&A today. I have a couple little things for you today. I made a couple templates for you, and then I also am going to do a short JavaScript lesson here in the beginning, and then we'll jump straight into Q&A, and I'll start answering some questions. So I was having a little bit of trouble with YouTube in the beginning. Sorry if I'm a little bit late, everybody. I'm not sure what was going on. I think we're good to go now. So I'm just going to do a quick check. Is everything? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Can you guys hear me? All right. What's up, Spice Beam? What's up, Zurich, Expressive Boy, Kieran? What's up, Kieran? School Zero. Awesome. Can you guys hear me okay? I just wanted to double check because I was having some weird issues with YouTube this morning. I don't know why. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Thanks Spice Bean and Kieran and Abmora. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started right now. Sorry, I'm cracking open my classic coconut water here. Okay, so let's do this. So first thing I wanted to share with you is a template that I made a couple nights ago. It's a very, very basic, very basic template, but I think that one of you could probably polish it up and make some make some more levels, make some improvements to it, and then potentially even publish it or release it. And it's totally fine with me. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and I'll play it right now. So this is the avoidance template that I made. Here we go. So it's a super basic. Just, you tap the screen, you touch anywhere, and then the ball hops, and you just avoid the different shapes as you're going up. So that was one scene. This one is a little hard. There's another one. I made 10 scenes only for this template, but it's enough to get a little bit of variety, and you could probably change like the amount of height that the ball jumps as well. Ah, darn it. Okay, I died. Anyways, I made 10 different scenes. I did like little fade outs, really basic. You collect diamonds to get your score, and each level, each scene has like one diamond that you get. So each time you pass an obstacle, this is a tough one. Oh, dang it. Anyways, yeah, I messed that one up. That one's a tough level I made. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just share this right now on Discord. Let's go here. I'll go to Buildbox Livestream. Where are you? Buildbox Livestreams. Okay, nice. Al Cox has got a couple new live streams. So I'm just going to toss in a vertical avoidance template, and then everybody, you can have that. Hopefully we'll add it to the software in a couple weeks, but it might not be good enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you now, and if you want to use it, you can. If you don't, that's no big deal either. So that's a vertical avoidance template for you. And then I also have another template for you. This one is really simple. I just made, so color switch is very similar to that, obviously, the same type of gameplay where a ball is hopping up and down. So what I did is I just made a quick color switch template for you too. Now, the only thing I'll say is you cannot release this. You cannot publish this one. And please do not try to publish this. I'm going to share this with you, but but don't try to release this. I think it's just a good example, and it's kind of a fun template. So I'll press play. I made the little, that's weird. Is this the color switch template? Oh, no, sorry. This is still the vertical avoidance template. Okay. No? All right, let's go ahead and open up the color switch template. I made the circle by myself in Blender, and so it's not that smooth. So please don't rag on me for that. But I made like a pretty basic circle. Probably should have made it thicker. But you collect the little power-ups, right? And then it changes the color, and you can go through that color. And this game was made by David Reichel. Did really well. Fantastic game that's had a ton of success. It's got like a cult following now. And yeah, I just made a really basic template where you changes the colors, and if you don't hit the right color, I'll give you an example on the next one. If you don't hit the right color, then you lose. So pink's safe, but then if I hit purple, then you're defeated, and then you can start the game over again. Okay, cool. So that is the color switch template too. I thought it might just be good for you to have as an example. So I'll go ahead and drop that in as well. So here's the color switch template. Okay. So there's color switch. And cool. Should be downloaded. Processing. Good. All right. Now you got the color switch template too for fun. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to do the quick JavaScript tutorial, and then we'll jump into Q&A. Okay. So thank you so much. Here we go. So let's go ahead. I'm going to find a template that works well for this JavaScript tutorial. Let me find one, everybody. Let's see here. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to use the... oh, this is kind of cool. Progression actually would be a fun one, maybe. Let me think. Let's... yeah, I'll try isometric platformer. I'm gonna just change the I'm gonna change the shape of the character so that I can show you that angular velocity, because if I rotate in a sphere, you're not gonna be able to tell, and it'll be pointless. So I'm gonna change the shape of this character, and I'm gonna show you a quick JavaScript tutorial. Okay, so character. Let's go ahead and just change the 3D model and change the mesh here to be a cube. I'll probably change the collision shape to be a cube as well, so that it matches up correctly. Okay, let's take a look at the size of the collision shape. All right, we need to fix this collision shape as well. Cube, and it's a little bit big, so let's make that smaller. Cool. And then this collision shape seems to be a little off too. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I think I'll try to leave it like that and see if I have any problems. I'll take another look at it. Okay, JavaScript tutorial. So double click on this character, and first what I want to show you is the JavaScript API, the reference guide. Okay, so first you want to go up to help, then you go to JavaScript API reference. Okay, it'll take you to a website. It'll take you to the JavaScript API reference guide here online. I'm going to go ahead and just pull it up here. See, okay, it looks good. You can see it. I'm not blocking the screen. Okay, so there's a ton of stuff in here, right? There's just a ton to look through, and it explains all of the different functions and how they work, like enable touch, so that you can like touch objects or touch a screen, or it usually works with touch begin, touch move, and touch end. So this is kind of like how is touched works, where you can like move things around and it registers touching. There's a bunch of different functions in here that you'll want to look through, okay? But if you're curious about one, right, you can just go over here. You can say, okay, well, I'm curious about angular velocity. I want to add some angular velocity. So I'll just search angular velocity, okay? And let's see right here, what do we got? We've got physics component, angular velocity. We've got linker API reference and custom nodes API reference. Now, I'm thinking that the one I'm looking for is this physics component one. There is a chance that it could be this custom nodes API reference one. So I'll start off with this one, but if it's not here, I'll go here. So let's go here, physics component. Okay, let's look for angular velocity. And this is a little trick that I use. I use Command F, okay, everybody? And then I'll put in angular velocity so that I can see, okay, well, here's where all the angular velocity is, right? And so I've got, okay, I'll get rid of that. Oops, I gotta bring that back. Okay, angular velocity, and perfect. Now, here's all the different functions that pertain to angular velocity. You can see them highlighted here. Let's take a quick look at them. So it says clear velocities, and it says sets angular velocity and linear velocity to 0. Okay, that's good to know that we have that capability, but we don't need it for this one. This one is angular velocity, and this just returns the current angular velocity of the value of the object. So at any given time, you can say, okay, what's the angular velocity at this point, and it'll tell you. All right, and then we've got set angular factor. So this sets the rotation factor of the object. This determines how the physics engine affects specific angular rotations along axes. So, for instance, if x equals 0, the physics engine will not calculate physics for that axis. If x equals 2, it will calculate the physics magnified by 2. Okay, so it'll change the way the physics behaves along certain axes, which is sometimes very, very useful. You might want, for instance, to like have slow movement side to side, but the rotation, maybe you want it spinning really, really fast. Like maybe you want very slow rotation side to side, but you want fast rotation going forward and back. You know what I mean? So that could be an example. And then we've got set angular velocity. Now it says sets the angular velocity value of the object. Now that's what I'm looking for right now. I want to tell the cube, I want you to have this angular velocity. So I'm going to use the function set angular velocity. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this off to the side for right now. Okay, I'm not going to use it just yet, but I will in a little bit. Okay. So what do we got here? We've got this character that jumps currently, and it's got a jump force and all that. Now, one thing that I think we need to do is I think we need to use an updated jump node. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to get rid of this jump node, and I'm going to hook it up to this updated jump node. All right, because I want you all to be working with the most updated version of the jump node. Okay, we need to update this template, and we will. But just so you know, you want to use the most current version of the jump node. Okay, and then I think what we are doing is I think for this template there was no jump limit. Okay. And okay, cool. So there we go. So we got this cube and it's just spinning. So let's try to see if we can change the way that this behaves. So first off, I'm going to change the rotation factor in the Y to 0. And I'm going to change the rotation factor in the X to 0. Or no. I think X needs to be 1. And then Z needs to be 0. So that it spins forward, but it doesn't spin side to side or all wonky. So see how it's spinning forward now? Okay, that's what I want. But I'm not sure why it's spinning continuously on its own. That's okay. Let's see how this goes. So we got jump here. No jump force. Good. Move. All right, perfect. We'll get rid of that here. This is an old move node as well, so we'll get an updated move node. Let me see, what was the force on that? It was -10. Okay. -10. All right. Okay, clear that off. All right, I'm going to save just real fast because I want this. I want to use this as an example. So this is angular velocity JavaScript example. Okay, so we're going to save that. All right, let's go ahead and do this. All right, let's make sure that everything's looking good again. Okay, cool, it's rotating. Now let's see here. If I set this to kinematic, all right, it'll still, interesting. Okay, cool. Now I'm curious, if I set this to 0, or if I set the rotation factor to 0, and then I ask it to manipulate the angular velocity, I wonder if that'll work. I'm curious. Let's just test it out. So let's go ahead and do a angular velocity. Let's go ahead and I'll just change the rotation factor to, or you know what? Let's see here. Maybe if I increase the mass a little bit. No. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's keep the rotation factor at 1, but friction I'm going to turn down, I think. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, cool. Okay, so I don't want it to be spinning as much as it is, so that's why I turned down the friction, and you can see it's still spinning, right, which is cool, but it's not like before. What was happening is the friction was rubbing up against it on the ground, so when it was just flat, right, the friction was causing it to go brrr and just tumble, right? So we just need to turn down the friction a little bit. Okay, now we can set up the set angular velocity JavaScript node here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little edit button, okay, little marker button here, this little edit button. And it's going to open up the code so that we can see what's under the hood here. Okay, so looks like we've got some nice nodes here: jump limit, jump force, jump count. Okay, this all makes sense. All right, and we are looking here, we've got jump force and jump limit over here on the right, and you can see that we've got jump force is tied to this attribute, jump force, and we've got jump limit, it's tied to this attribute, jump limit. So that means that these variables are pulling the numbers right here. They're grabbing these numbers, and then that means that these numbers or these variables are represented. They are now equal to those values, to the number 20. So jump force is now equal to nothing for the x, it's equal to 20 for the y, and it's equal to nothing for z. So that's now what jump force equals. So, okay, so what we need to do is we need to create our own attribute for angular velocity. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add an attribute. And then it gives you a bunch of different options. It says number, vector 3D, vector 2D, Boolean, text, animation, mesh, asset, and color. So which one do you choose, right? How do you know which one to choose? Okay, so let's take a look at our set angular velocity function that we want to use again. You can see here that it says set angular velocity, and then it says x, y, z. Okay, so x, y, z, that's a sign that tells you, okay, I need a vector 3D because it has 3 inputs, 3 values there. And so now you could do one value and set that one value to the x, y, and z. But what I'm trying to get at is you want to do a vector 3D so that you have the ability, you have the options to say, okay, I want x to equal this, I want y to equal this, and I want z to equal this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a vector 3D attribute. Okay, so I'm going to select vector 3D, all right, and it just gives you a blank attribute. You can see it up here at the top, okay? I wonder, is there a way to bring it on down? I guess not, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and call this angular velocity. All right, angular velocity. Okay, awesome. Make sure it's spelled the way we want it to be. Okay, awesome. And we've got an x, y, and z. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a variable that will take in these numbers that we want there. Okay, right now it's set to 0, 0, 0. We're going to change that in a little bit, but we want to create a variable that will take in these numbers. So we're going to create a variable called angular velocity. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's say here, let, and then I'm going to use the underscore. Because that's kind of like what the style is currently with this node, and that's the way our programmers at Buildbox, they've stylized it. So we're going to use the underscore style. There's different methods, but that's a common one. Okay, and we're going to first do all lowercase angular. All right, and then you want to use, when you start a new word, usually when you're naming variables, it's common practice to make the second word, the first letter of the second word capital, okay? So it'll be capital V, angular velocity, all right? And then I'm just going to do a semicolon because we don't really need it to equal anything right now. If you take a look at jump limit and jump force here, they're not set to anything. And let's go ahead and, just in keeping with the style, let's go ahead and put these are node attribute variables. All right, you can see them listed here. So let's list it under the node attribute variables. All right, so this is looking clean already. This is exactly how we want to do this. Okay, so now the next thing that we need to do, so that's one line of code. The second line of code that we're going to write is right here. Okay, it says underscore jump limit is equal to this attribute jump limit. Okay, well, we need to do that for angular velocity too. All right, we need to say, well, angular velocity is equal to this attribute angular velocity that we've got. So let's write that second line of code. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy it. I'm going to paste. Okay, I'm going to make it, just get rid of that indentation and make it look a little clean. Okay, then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to copy angular velocity here, copy that variable. I'll replace it here with the jump limit. So now I've got angular velocity is going to be equal to the jump limit, but let's go ahead and change that, and let's not use jump limit. Let's use the angular velocity here. So I'm going to copy it there. And the reason why I'm copying and pasting it instead of just typing it in is that means that there is a better chance of me getting it exactly right. Okay, one little tricky part about coding is if you have like a period off or a letter off or a number off, it's not going to work. It has to be perfect. So that's why I copy and paste, because it gives me I'm more likely not to mess that up. Okay, now that's the second line of code. So now what we've just done is the first line of code is we created a variable. The second line of code, we said this variable is equal to this attribute that we created, to the numbers of that attribute that we created. Okay, now the third line of code is let's do something with those numbers. Okay, so we're going to go over here to apply jump velocity. You see right here it says physics set linear velocity, and it says vel x, vel y, vel z. Okay, and now let's see here, 1 second. Okay, and then yes, okay, perfect. Now, so it's so right now it says vel x, vel y, and vel z. You're probably wondering what the heck is vel. All right, so vel, let's take a look at that. Vel right here in this line of code says let vel equal the physics, let it equal the linear velocity of the object. Okay, and then it applies, it changes the jump force of vel to the jump force of the x, of the y, and of the z that's up here in jump force x, y, and z. Okay, so vel then changes, and then it applies the jump force. So we don't even need to do that. Okay, like that's not that's probably more technical than it needs to be for us for what we're doing. But here's why they do that. Okay, there's a check here that happens. All right, if the jump force z does not equal null. All right, and that's the part is that we might need to do right now, and we'll do that afterwards. We'll make it more refined. We'll add this as a little bit more sophisticated, and here's why. So what that check does is it makes sure that if it's none, then it's not going to apply any sort of rules. All right, if I say 0, then the jump force is not going to move for sure in that direction. But if you leave it as none, that means that it can still move naturally along that axis. So we do want that. We want that capability. So I'll show that at the end. But the truth is you can still achieve this with just 3 lines of code, which is what we're going to do right now. So after physics set linear velocity, let's go ahead and set angular velocity. This is where we use that function that we were looking at here in the JavaScript API. So it's set angular velocity. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste again. Really, really simple stuff. Copy and paste. And this time I'm going to put set angular velocity. Angular velocity this time, okay? And just to make sure, I'll check right here, up here, it says set angular velocity, set angular velocity. It's looking good, and it's got 3 inputs, so we're cooking with fire now, okay? We're doing good. Now, let's go ahead and let's change this here. We need that variable. We need the angular velocity variable here instead of vel, okay? And we're going to replace vel, the variable vel, with angvel, and then we're good to go. All right? And this will work. Just this by itself will work. So now let's go ahead and change the angular velocity here in the z. Let's change it so that each time you jump, you flip backwards. You do a little backflip. So let's do -5 on the set angular velocity. Okay, let's press play. Oh, shoot, I rotated it along the wrong axis. Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. It's supposed to be the x-axis again. Why do I always confuse the z and the x? Okay, so we'll do 0, and then we'll do -5 in the x. And so now it's going to do a backflip. So I'll press play. Okay, I did a forward flip. Okay, let's do +5. All right, now it's going to do a backflip. My goodness. There you go, backflip. So each time it jumps now, it's going to do a little backflip, okay? Now, this is totally optional, okay? You can achieve this same sort of effect with a rotation animation node. I'm sure Smart Penguins is probably like, yeah, you could do that with a rotation animation node just as easily, right? So if I did rotation here, rotation animation, right? Okay, I could easily make that flip too. All right, it will work the exact same way. So it's super easy for you. You might even want to use the rotation animation node. But I wanted to use today as an example just how you can add angular velocity to the jump node. Super easy with 3 lines of code. Okay, so let's go ahead and that's what we did. We created the variable angular velocity. We set that variable angular velocity to the attributes that we created here, the vector 3D attribute that we created. And then once we got that variable set to those attributes, to the values in that attribute, then we took that variable and we said, okay, perform this function. Perform this function set angular velocity, and I want you to make the angular velocity of this object be that. Be the variable numbers that we chose in those attributes, okay? And so if I wanted to do 50 now and make it do a ridiculous, crazy flip backwards, you can see right there that just sends the thing, flying. So now you can just do a little angular velocity there to your jump node. Sometimes it's nice. So I'll say this: it's very simple to create this other check for the angular velocity. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that real fast, and then I'll share this with you, everybody, so that you can have it. Okay, so they do this little check here to make sure, like, okay, if you already have angular velocity in that direction and you don't want it to be affected in any way, then let's leave it. So we're going to do this same sort of thing. Let vel equal something, but we're going to create our own little variables here. So we'll do let I'm going to call this angvel. So it's going to be short for, oops, I got caps lock on. I'm going to do ang in capital V because it's like a different word, almost like angular velocity. Okay, so I'm guessing that the programmer who made this, they made vel kind of as like a representation of velocity, right? So we're going to do angvel as a representation of angular velocity. Okay, so now let's take a look. All right, we have this physics dot linear velocity right here. Okay, so what we need to look at is we don't really want to look at the linear velocity in this part. We want to look at the angular velocity at this part. So we need to pull the angular velocity value at this point. So the way we do this is we use the angular velocity function here from the JavaScript API that you see there. And see, you can see it says it returns the current angular velocity value of the object. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get that angular velocity value here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just change this to say angular velocity. Angular. Okay, done. All right, that's the next step. All right, now the next thing is they're manipulating the jump force variable, right? Well, we need to manipulate the angular velocity variable. So we need to replace those variables there. So I'm just going to copy it, right? I'll copy angular velocity. I'll drop it in here. Oops, I totally went to the wrong one. My bad. Okay. Angular velocity there. Angular velocity there. And angular velocity there. Okay, great. Half the battle's done. And then we also need to do it here. Angular velocity here. Angular velocity here. And angular velocity here. So we've replaced now all the jump force variables now with our angular velocity variable. Next, we need to replace the angvel variable with all, oops, my goodness. Okay, copy, I mean to copy it. Copy it, and then we need to replace the vel.x, the vel.y, and the vel.z, okay, because that's for velocity, and we want angular velocity. Okay, so angvel, angvel, and angvel. Sweet. And we're done. Cool. That's it. So now what it does, what that just did, everybody, just to be absolutely clear, is what it did is now I can leave this as 0, or I can leave it as empty, right? And it may not say none, right? It may not say none, but it will, when it doesn't have a value there, it will be null. Okay, and it will return the value null. And so if it is null, it says if angular velocity is not null, then we want to set the angular velocity, or we want to keep the angular velocity. Let's see here. If it is not empty, so if it's not empty, it is full. So if it's full, then you have to set it to this attribute. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Okay, cool. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and test this out. So I want to be able to roll forward, but when I jump, let's see here. So oops, I got it turned up a little bit. This one's tough because it's I'm doing this in the Z. Let's do this. Let's get rid of it in the X. And then what it should do, if it's in the X and it's empty, when I jump, it should still be able to spin freely. But if I change it to 0, when I press the jump button, it should like hold its position in the air and not rotate at all, because the angular velocity will be set to 0. So that's kind of the look that we're going for right now. So let's go ahead and press play with it empty, okay? And wait, what the heck? Set angular velocity. Why is it jumping as 0? Let's see here. Maybe I did something wrong? Okay, so I set it to 0, and you can see that it's not spinning in the air. And then when I set it to empty, is it still going to be 0? Yeah, it is. Why? Interesting. Okay, 1 second. If jump value, if physics, right? Let angvel be the physics angular velocity. That's right. If the angular velocity is not equal to null. And set the angular velocity. Okay, you know what? I'm going to share this with you guys anyways. I have a feeling that this has something... I'm going to talk to one of the programmers. I have a feeling this has something to do with... do you notice how it doesn't have none here in the top? I have a feeling that the way that it is set up is that it might be, and I might be wrong. If somebody has a glaring, if it's glaringly obvious to them what I'm doing wrong here, let me know. But I'm pretty sure that it has something to do with that. And so what it's doing is it's taking the last number, whatever the last number was. So if I make it 5 and then I delete it, it's still going to be 5. That's what's going to happen. So it's interesting. I'll have to ask one of the developers exactly what I missed there. But still, just wanted to share it with you anyways. So if let's see here, if we go to 5 here, if we put in 5 and we press play, it should do a backflip. Interesting. So there is something going on here. If jump force is equal to null. Okay, so if I wait, no, that's weird. 5. If I get rid of this, code, will it work? Let's see. I'm gonna comment it out. Wait. Huh. Set angular velocity. That's so strange. And I just got rid of it here. Oh, I know what it is. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Okay, I need to now take angvel and apply it here. That's what it is. Okay. There. All right. Angvel. All right. Let's try this. Huh. The rotation factor. Let's see here. Rotation factor is fine in the X. It should be. That's strange. It was just working a second ago. That's weird. And if I get rid of it there. Okay. That is so strange. Let's change it back. And if I get rid of that code, it should be exactly the way it was before. So if I get rid of this, I'll just go ahead and cut this and paste it somewhere else, just in case I want to lose it. Okay, and let's see here. I'll go ahead and just paste this in for Hugh. And then let's go ahead and press play. What the heck? All right, so angular velocity is 5. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm happy with this. I'll go ahead and I'll save this for right now. I'll ask what the heck I was doing wrong on checking for the null. And yeah, I'll share this with you right now. So let's see here. Angular velocity JavaScript example. Let me go ahead and share that with Discord, and then let's go ahead and start jumping into some Q&A because I've been doing this short lesson for 40 minutes now. So I appreciate you guys all hanging in there and taking the time to watch me struggle through that. Okay, so that's the angular velocity JavaScript example. We were able to make that work in 3 lines of code. So just to be clear, created the variable, set the variable to the attributes, and then used the variable, used the values, and set the angular velocity. Okay, cool. So next, let's go ahead and do some Q&A. All right, Zurich. Hey, Zach, can you show me how to joystick move character in a 2D game? Yeah, actually, you can. Let's go ahead and let me show you real fast. So let's see if there's a template that we can use right now that would be really good for this. Let's do this. Let's do a fresh template. Okay, create new, create 2D game. Let's go ahead and jump into the 3D world or 2D world. Let's add a little character. Okay. Let's move around here. Let's do, let's add in a little scene and maybe, let's see here, like a couple, let's see here. Let's just use some triangles for right now as some static objects. Okay, so rectangle, get you out of here. Moving like that. Okay, rectangle, the circle, move up to characters, rectangle, do a little color like this. Triangle, we move it out into the scene. The circle, we'll move up. Let's get we got to get some static objects into the scene because that's how you can register movement, right? And then let's take a look, make sure that it's gonna look good. Okay, great. Might stretch this out a little bit more to cover the whole game frame. Let's go ahead and press play. Okay, cool. That looks good for right now. Let's go ahead and save. Joystick, 2D joystick movement, 2D joystick movement. Movement example. Okay. Let's go ahead and press save. Controls, let's see here, joystick. Where are you? Let's see here. There you go. Sorry, I lost you for a second. Enabled. Let's go ahead, press play. Is touched. Okay, sensitivity, left bottom. Behavior joystick. Oh, right. Okay. Let's see here. Joystick movement for the character. Let's see here. How to make game mechanics like Flippy knife. Okay. 1 second. There is a joystick example that I was just taught this. You know what? I'm gonna actually ask the crowd. I'm gonna ask you guys for a little bit of help on this one because I'm blanking right now on the joystick. So I'm pretty sure you set up the joystick character and then the node, and I thought that gives you movement right there. Is there? I have an example that I've got saved somewhere, but I'll need to pull it up, Zurich, and give it to you probably later because I don't want to like go searching through it right now. But does anybody remember how to get the joystick working again? Let's see here. Physics, dynamic. There it is. Okay, let's see. Kinematic. Okay. Let's see here. Even Hugh, if you're on right now, maybe you could help remind me how to get the joystick working in 2D. So I know this. If you have a UI here and you hook it up, you have the joystick option here, but I'm pretty sure this works with the platformer, the platformer brain box. So, yeah, I'm trying to remember. Okay, I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'll send that to you, Zurich. for sure. But if anybody remembers, please let me know. I'll have to pull up an example that I have. I just made it the other day, but I guess I'm completely blanking on it right now. So I'll go ahead and exit out of this. Okay, cool. So the next question is, let's see here. Next question. Harry Waters, hi. How do I make an invincibility power up? Let's see here. Invincibility power up. Okay, so what I would do is I would make it so, like, let's say these are enemies, right? Okay. And let's make them static. We'll give them triangle shaped meshes. Let's see here. Let's do a, let's go ahead. Let's add in, okay. Interesting. So I guess what I need to do is I need to go to a 3D world and go here, add the triangle shaped 3D mesh to my options, go back to my 2D world, click on my triangle, then click my mesh and have the triangle as an option. Great. Cool. So that's how that works. And then we'll go ahead and delete this one because we don't need that one. Let's make sure that the collision shape is good. Okay, collision shapes are off a little bit, not too bad. Okay, so we're good there. These are going to be enemies. All right. Zurich, I'm really sorry about the joystick thing again. I know for sure I know how to do it. I just am blanking. I feel so dumb right now. Like I just went over this the other day, so my apologies. But if you can just send an email to support, or actually to send it to Zack@Buildbox.com, just email me right now, and I'll make sure to shoot it to you directly right after this. And then Al, yeah, I'm not sure on the joystick either. I don't know what's going on, but you know what? Hey, that's how it works. I'll pull it up in a little bit. Okay, so let's do a little bit of like some keyboard. Let's see here, touch move. Okay, and touch move. Okay, and then invert Y. Okay, cool. So this is you got free movement, and then I'm gonna make it so that when it collides, it defeats the character real fast. So circle. Actions, if collide with enemies, we'll do a circular. If you collide with enemies, we want to defeat the character. Defeat the character. Okay. All right, and then the collision shape we want it to be is a sphere. All right, let's check our 2D world. Let's make sure our collision shapes are good. Okay, the starting collision shape should be a sphere as well. All right, now it looks pretty good. Okay, let's press play. Okay, cool. So defeats the character disappears, right? Now let's go ahead and do a power up. So let's go ahead and grab this little ring power up. Okay, collect this little ring. And let's say, so ring, what I would do is, let's go ahead and make it static. All right, and then if it collides with the character, we want it to remove. We want the power up to disappear. Okay. Then, so if it collides, let's do sphere. If it collides with the character, all right, we're going to remove it. That's how it's going to start off with. We'll get this little power up here. and remove it. Why isn't it colliding? Static, collision shape, sphere. Okay. Checking it. All right. What the heck? Okay. Static. It's got a collision shape right there. If collide, I'll make it a little bit bigger. This is the if collide with character. Oh, I know why, because this collision group's not in the character yet. Now it's going to work. Okay. Okay, perfect. So you collect the power up. Okay. Now we need a shield. All right, it's going to be an invisible shield. So let's do a circle. Okay. So this is going to be your shield. All right. We'll make it be kinematic, physics type. And we'll make it be a little bit bigger. The scale is going to be like 1.1 at least. Let's just try 1.1. If we need to make it 1.2, we will, okay? And then let's make it a sphere again, right? Because that's our shield. We want it to be circular. All right, and then when you collide here in this circular in the main characters node map, when you collide, if collide with the power up, all right, if you collide with the ring, let's call this a power up, all right. Oops, my bad. Go to the main character. You're in the main characters, and you're saying, okay, if the main character collides with this power up, I want the shield to appear. Okay, so oops, sorry. You want it to collide. If it collides with the power up, okay, I want to spawn a shield. All right. Now, I'm going to change the shield color just a little bit so that it's real easy for us to all see. Okay. So I'll do something like blue shield with light opacity. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So then what we want to do is we want to spawn a shield. Okay. Now, and then we want to say to the enemies, if the enemy, oops, sorry, double click on the enemy. We want to say if the enemy collides with the shield, it destroys the enemy. So let's do okay. If collide with the shield, defeat. Let's do remove for right now. We could also do a debris explosion, but I just kind of want to save a little bit of time. I'm gonna go a little bit faster for that. So mesh, collide, triangle, cool, 2D world. Let's check the collision shape. Booyah. Okay, it's a little bit off. Make it a little bit bigger. Don't select them all like I just did. Select the right one. Thank you. Okay, stretch it out. Okay, cool. Maybe bring it down a little bit. Cool. All right, got the collision shapes fixed. So triangle, if it collides with the shield, we want to remove the enemy. Okay, it's going to destroy the enemy. And the shield is only going to exist. It's going to have a delay, let's say, of like, I don't know, 5 seconds. Or let's do 3 seconds just to be easy. And then we're going to remove it. After 3 seconds, the shield is removed. Okay? So the shield's gone after 3 seconds. So we get the circle, right? The collision shape should be a sphere. I will have to change that. So we got the circle. We got this circle. It runs into the power up, right? The power up, if it runs into the power up, it then spawns the shield. Okay? The shield, it only exists for 3 seconds and then it's removed. When the triangle, when the enemies run into the shield, it destroys the enemies. So let's take a look. Let's press play. Let's hit the power up. I don't see. Let's see here. I didn't see it spawn. Let's take a look again. Okay, no, there it is. It spawned the shield. Why didn't it spawn last time? Because that means that it didn't register first. So that means this. So I need to go to my circle. I need to check the collision shape on the one that checks for the power up, and I need to make it just a little bit bigger. And then, yeah, okay, cool. And then there we go. So now it should create the shield no matter what. Wait, what? Let's see. Okay, it's creating the shield. But why is it? Oh, it's off just a little bit. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. A little bigger. Oops. Let's do this. Make the one that picks up the shield, the power up. Yeah, make that a little bit bigger to the right, I think is what's happening. I think the collision shape is off just a little bit. Let's take a look. Yeah, okay, let's try it again. Okay, and again. Good. Okay, now perfect. Now we take this. One thing we need to do though is we need to make sure that it needs to be as a child of the character. If you don't have it as a child of the character, it's not going to move with the character. And if it doesn't move with the character, it's pointless, right? It's just going to spawn and it's going to spawn in that little spot and stay there. So you have to mark it as a child, and then you can be invincible. But then if you, then you're invincible, and you probably want to have like some sort of delay. But then when the shield turns off, here I'll turn off debug mode. So you get your little shield, then you're invincible. You got this invincible power up, but then your shield turns off, and then if you hit the enemy again, then you're defeated. Okay, so that's like the quick. That's just like me trying to go as fast as I can. Just quick example with just shapes and demonstration. You probably want to make like the defeated animation nice. You want to make the power up be nice. You want the power up to be like blinking a few times before it shuts off. You want like a timer to show up on the power up so that like it's very, very obvious to the player the power up is going to be turning off, eventually, so that it's not like the invincibility doesn't last forever. So I'll go ahead and save this, and then I'll share it with you. That joystick thing is still messing with me. I'm still thinking about that. I know how to do it. It's gonna frustrate me, and I'm gonna remember it the second I'm off the live stream. I guarantee you. Okay, so that was invincibility power up example. Invincibility power up example. Okay. I hope that works. Make the delay more. Oh, thanks. Oh, I could move in direction node. Thank you, smart penguins. Okay, so one sec. So that was the invincibility one. Let's try joystick node real fast, just like he said. So joystick, move in direction. Thank you, Lord. There it is. Okay. So enabled, out, input is moving. Oof. Let's do this. Is it such is touched? Ooh, crash. Ouch. Okay. Smart Penguins is here, Zach. Thank you, Smart Penguins. Obviously, I hooked it up incorrectly because it crashed. So how do you remind me again how to hook up the move in direction node? And I'll start Buildbox back up again, and I'll post this invincibility power up example right now so that everybody can have it. Okay, invincibility power-up example is right here. Let me just double check and make sure that it's working. I'm just paranoid about it. Okay, so I'll also get rid of the joystick. So basically, you got your character. If it runs into enemies, defeats the enemy, or if it runs into enemies, defeats the character, you can get a little power up, makes you invincible, then you lose the power up, and you're defeated by enemies again. Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and share this and save this right now. Okay. Let's go here. Angular velocity, invincibility, power up example. Booyah. Okay. All right, cool. Move in direction node. Yeah, I think the move in out input and turn off rotation on the move in direction node. All right, let's take a look. All right, I'm going to do the 2D joystick movement example. Thank you, Smart Penguins, again. By the way, Smart Penguins, what's your, if you feel comfortable, what's your actual name? Because I don't think I've had a chance to talk with you yet. Or do you want me to just refer to you as Smart Penguins, which I can do that. I can refer to you as Smart Penguins. It's a good name. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's do joystick, move in direction. Cool. Enabled, out, input, turn off rotation, move around. Ooh, what did I do wrong? Okay. Sensitivity, nope. Speed scaling. Ah, that's cool. Okay, and then I just need to invert Y, I think. Yeah, cool. That's awesome. All right, cool. Got the 2D joystick movement here. Awesome. Okay, let me check real fast. Add joystick from controls tab, then add UI, joystick move from advanced tab. All right, let me see something. Ooh. UI joystick move. Let me see something. That's cool too. Hugh has got another example, everybody. Let's take a look at it. UI joystick move. I should have memorized this before I came on today. My apologies, guys. Thank you so much for working on me with this one. Okay, and input. And then get the joystick over here. And UI joystick move. Cool, cool, cool. I think the move speed is probably going to be a little crazy, but we'll find out. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then I just need to turn the rotation down to 0. Awesome, guys. Cool. Huh. Why is it still rotating, though, when I change the rotation speed to 0? Huh, that's weird. Like, it seems to me like it shouldn't be rotating at all if I have the rotation speed to 0. And if I leave it empty, it just goes back to 0. Let's do move speed 0.3. Let's go a little bit slower. Yeah, okay. Well, still weird. Still a little weird that it does that little flip, right? Every single time. Is it just me or does that seem a little strange? Rotate to face. Forward? I don't think so. Anyways, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and use this. I'm happy with this. We'll use this as an example. Thank you so much, Hugh, for hooking up telling me to hook up the UI. That really helps too, like visually, so that you have both. You got this going on. And perfect. Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and I'll save this, and then I'll share this on Discord as well. Okay. 2D mix-up movement. Okay. And let's see here. All right, next question that Hugh's got for me on the list. Okay. Joystick example of make. Thank you so much, Hugh. Thank you. Faisal S. How can I make like a wave move motion from right to left, but in random speed and distance? I got an idea. Okay, let's do this. All right. Let me think about a template that would be good for this. Wave motion. You know what, man? I'm just going to start off with a brand new template, okay? So, brand new 3D template. And then I'm going to make the wave motion, but it's the randomization that's the part that I'm a little bit questioning right now. But we're gonna make this happen. Okay, so this is probably set to dynamic to start off with. Let's go ahead and set it to kinematic. I'll make it a character for the heck of it. Let's double click on this. Let's give it some wave movement. Okay, wave movement. And then the only thing is so you're saying like you want random, but in random speed and distance. So this is why I would probably do something like, Let's take a look. I wonder if like you could just, I almost want to just add this to the code right now, and like the randomization part, and then call it good. Because the other way I was gonna do it, man, is kind of just like the way I was gonna do it is I was gonna give it so you see how the move node is it has randomization built into it, and then I think jump has randomization. No, jump doesn't have randomization built into it, but yeah, randomization is built into. I'm gonna make a note as well that randomization needs to be built into the wave node and the jump nodes. Okay, but basically this right here is this extra rotation part. Let's see here. Where is, so I'm seeing speed attribute, and then speed. I don't think there's any sort of randomization built into it. Let me look for random. No. I don't think the randomization is referenced here. It might be C++ and not JavaScript. Okay. So the other way I would do this, I might have to request this one, my man. But the other way I would do this is I would say this. Okay. So I would do this. Good Lord, this is going to be such a rigmarole way to go about doing it, but here we go. Okay, I would do left wall, right wall. Wow, if randomization was built into it, it'd be so much easier than doing it like this. But I would do left wall over here. Sorry, I got it going the wrong direction. Okay, left wall over here. Okay. Then you give this left wall a little bit of movement, a little bit of wave, right? Okay. Wave. Then you go side to side. So let's take a look at this real fast. Okay, cool. Let's make these be kinematic, the left and right walls. Okay. Then right wall is going to be the same thing. Okay. Do something like that. Do another wall. Then you... Oh, man. I think Okay, I'm just going to describe it to you. I don't think we should do this. I think I should just tell Sergey, I think I should tell the developers to add randomization. It would be so easy if you could add just, like, right here, little extra box next to it that says randomization for plus or minus randomization here, and then the same thing with the wave vector. It'll look just like this, XYZ going down, and it'll have randomization on the side. I'd rather just request that and have that put in like this week, than show you some crazy example with bouncing walls that move left to right, and then when you collide with the walls, they move at different move speed, at randomization move speeds. That's just it's a bad hack. It's a bad hack, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna make sure that that this gets taken care of, and that we add randomization to the wave node, and I'll have it to the jump node. So, okay, to get a random value 0 through 1, you can use math.random. So, okay. Yeah. So to get a random value, you need to, one move in direction node, or, okay, so Smart Penguins. I just read back at this. Yes, Smart Penguins is not smart. He's a genius. Okay, so the math.random function. Thank you for that. Although I think it would be better, instead of like going. I don't want to go deep into coding again, because I spent 40 minutes at the beginning of this Q&A going over code, and I know you guys are not probably into that. So I'm going to I'm just going to have randomization built into it, into the node, because that's what makes the most sense to me, like long term, like I think we should all have randomization capabilities built in. Okay, so real quick though, no move in direction, right? This is Smart Penguin says it's either or, so you press interesting. Okay. But it's still rotating is the thing. What if I do this? What if I create if I do the rotation factor as 0 for all of it? Will it still rotate? Yeah, I'm curious if it'll still rotate. Yeah, it still does this rotation thing, and that's kind of weird to me. Also, it doesn't seem to be moving forward and back. Let's try 1 and 1 here. Is that okay? Let's try 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Weird. Press 1 and 1, and it moves again. Strange. Let's try 0 and 1 here. Nothing. Very strange. Okay, that's weird. UI joystick is hard coded for X and Z. Oh, got it. Thank you, Smart Penguins. Okay, yeah, I'm sure you probably took a look at the different, like, the axis. Okay, good to know. All right, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna leave the example, but thanks. I usually go live for about cigar. I usually go for live for about 3 hours on Thursday and Friday. I do an hour on Instagram, and then I do 2 hours on YouTube and Twitch and stuff. So okay, next question on the list. Sorry about this, guys. I'm moving a little slower today. Faisal S. Just to recap and close this off. I'm going to request that randomization be built into the wave node and the jump node as well, so that it'll be super, super easy. You'll just enter in the value that you wanted, like, to have be the randomization value. Okay. Now, next on the list is Vlad Popa from Tapman Games. Can we get a tutorial on mediation for Iron Source? I know we can add the Iron Source SDK inside BB, but I'm looking for mediation. Okay. Yes, I'll do that. I'm going to add that to a list right now. Mediation tutorial for Iron Source. Okay. Awesome. All right, I'll go ahead and I just made a note of that, so that's on the list. Thank you for requesting that, Vlad. I'll make sure that we take care of that. If you're asking for it, I know it's important. Super Googis, how to restart the game from the last checkpoint for single world game like phases. Whenever I close and reopen the game, it loses all the checkpoints and data and restarts the game. Interesting. Oh shoot. Super Googis, I'm just curious, okay? Is that happening for both iPhone and Android? Because I do believe I remember reports about having some issues with the checkpoints for Android, but not for iOS. So if it's Android, let me know, and I think that might just be a bug. But if not, let's take a look at the Phases 3D, and I'm going to show you how I do it, okay? Okay. I just need to quickly search my computer. Phases 3D. That is recent. Sorry, this Mac. Phases 3D. I think I sent this one to Max. This is an old one. An oldie but a goodie. Basically, you need to just master... so, like, the one thing that is a little bit tricky with checkpoints... I think, okay, restart the game like phases. Whenever I close and reopen the game, it loses all the checkpoints and restarts the game. Okay, it's weird. So when you're working with checkpoints, this is an example of like a game like Phases, right? Like you were talking about. And the one important thing is you see how it's checkpoint loader. That's one little tricksy thing that you have to do with 3D worlds. So you'll select the 3D world that your main gameplay is in, right? And you'll go to edit components, and then you want to go to where are you? Actions. You know what? Just search checkpoint loader. Just search checkpoint loader over here. Okay, at the top. And then you want to just drag out a checkpoint loader, and that's all you got to do is you just have to have one in there for your game. Okay, so that's the first thing you got to do. Make sure you have that checkpoint loader in there. All right. Then the other thing is you have to have a. Let's see here. Where is my first checkpoint? Where did it go? Okay. I'll just look for it. Checkpoint 1. Okay. So, basically, okay. So it's not handled here. It's handled in the with the character. Got it. Okay. So you go to the main character, and let's see here. Wait. That's weird. Where's the set checkpoint node? I made this. Where is it? So set visible, spawn, the red door, checkpoint 1, set visible. What is this? What am I spawning here? Checkpoint done. Okay, let's look at checkpoint done. Oh, wait. I know this. I remember this. I remember I had an issue with the checkpoints, and I had to make it so that they spawn. I had to make it so that they spawn a little bit in front of the checkpoint so that they don't run into the. Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. Checkpoint done. No. Checkpoint 2. Checkpoint. Set checkpoint. That's it. Okay. So the other node that you'll need. Super Googis is you'll need a set checkpoint node. The thing is, I don't think the issue is knowing how to set up the checkpoint. It sounds to me like you're setting up the checkpoint just fine, and you don't even need me to teach you how to set up the checkpoint. It's more like it's just a bug. It sounds like, right? It sounds like when you start the game over, it's not starting you off at the checkpoint again. Let's make sure that checkpoints are working still in this game. In my Phases game, I'm gonna go ahead and just play it real fast. Okay. Welcome to phases. I kind of made this intro a little bit long. I kind of regret that. I wish I had made it a little bit faster. Touch left side, move left. Touch my right side, move right. All right, here we go. Okay. Start the game. Avoiding enemies. Collecting gems. Okay. Reaching checkpoints. So let's just test this out. So I reached the checkpoint. You can see that it changes the color and all that. I got this other reverse gravity. Oh, I need to change that. Yeah, that I didn't like that how the camera shifted up like that. Okay. Oh, let's not unlock the next door. So, let's do this. So if I hit this checkpoint, I should go back to the other checkpoint. Let's see. I hit that door. I was defeated. I restart here. Yep, and whoa. Okay. So I didn't even. Oh no! I know what happened. So my character collided with the enemy, and then it continued to move forward, and it set the checkpoint off, which is not good. Okay, cool. So let's see here, though. If I go back, if I hit an enemy right now, let's see. If I hit an enemy, I should go back to the checkpoint. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it works right now, but the thing is like I can test it on a device. You know what? Why not? I'll take a look real fast. Let's export it out to Xcode. Let's make sure that I'll throw it onto my on my device. But I think actually I have a download I need to wait for. Let's go ahead and just export this out real fast. So, first off, I didn't like the camera thing going on. I'm going to fix that real fast. Okay, follow force in the Y. 0. Oops, I almost made it 7. Okay, so save that. Yep. Update it, and then I need to export it out. I'm going to test this out, man. You see, if you're saying on a device it's not working, I believe you. So I'm going to throw it on my device, and we're going to test this out right now, and we're going to see if you're right, and and then I want you to tell me if it's on an Android, if you're testing it on an Android or an iPhone, because that could be a difference. So file, export, iOS. Okay. Let me get my cable all set up here. 1 second. Okay. All right. Now, let's do this. Save, export. Let's check on Xcode. Xcode usually takes forever to install things. If it's taking absolutely forever, what I'll do is I'll answer another question and I'll come back to this, and we'll do a quick test to make sure that checkpoints are actually working on a device, right? Because that's what I feel like that's what your question is, right? It's not so much. Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, Super Guju's, let me know. But I think you've got the whole load checkpoint, set checkpoint thing ready. You've got that figured out. It's about it seems to just like not be working on a device. So okay, let's see here. Let me see here. I'm gonna clear this off real fast. Where did I save it? Did I save it to my downloads? I did. Okay. Let's open this up. Just open up the Xcode project real fast. Sorry if this is taking a little bit long, guys. Let's see here. Okay. Alright. For some reason there was a delay in opening it. I'm not sure why. Alright, let's plug in my phone. Okay, got connection. We have life. All right, let's do BB player here. Signing capabilities. Choose the team. We'll choose mine. Oh no. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's try it. Is that okay? Let's try it. I might need to renew my Apple account actually. Let's see here. Weird. Okay. Xcode couldn't find any app provision name. Wow, they did an update on this. That's weird. Okay, you know what? Let's see here. Requires a provisioning profile with the in-app purchase feature. Interesting. I don't know. All right, I haven't run into this issue before. This is an update to Xcode, so I need to take a look at this. Okay, you know what? Since I ran into this, man, I'm gonna have to get back to you on this one. I'll take a look at this afterwards and figure out what's going on with Xcode. It's probably more likely something to do with my personal developer account. I probably need to update. You know how they were constantly updating user agreements. There's a bunch of times where I've run into issues where I haven't accepted the most updated user agreement or something, and then I'm not able to do stuff until I accept it. So that's probably what it is. I just need to go into my portal and then take care of that. So sorry about that, guys. Okay, next question. Is from Robert Greenberg. Any plans for Intellisense with the code editor? I actually am not familiar with Intellisense, actually. So let's take a look here. Intellisense. Ooh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, these. Heck yes. Oh my gosh, how nice would this be? Oh my gosh, if you could the drop down menus. Yeah. I imagine that we'll eventually get there, but it's probably going to be a while, especially because we're mostly focused on non-coding, right? But yeah, I think it's definitely a possibility. It's super, super cool. I've seen that before. Yeah, node code completion, really nice. Okay, let's take a look at let's see here. Okay, cool. I think that might actually be it for today. I don't think I have any more questions on the list. Robert Greenberg asked the last one right there on Intellisense. Oh, wait, no, I have another question here. It says from Zurich, how to make game mechanics like Flippy Knife. Okay, let's take a look at Flippy Knife real fast. I need to see it. Flippy Knife. My goodness, I don't know how to type today. Flippy Knife. Gameplay. Great. Big advertisement. Okay. Flippy Knife. Ooh. Nice. This is cool. Okay. Okay, is it just me? But from what I'm looking at it right now, I'm watching this with you guys, and is it just me, or does it seem like the angular velocity is the same each throw, but the distance of how high you throw it is different, right? So the rotation, it's not like if you pull it up higher, it's going to rotate faster. I think it's like if you pull it up higher, it's just going to fly higher, right? And then the rotation seems to be the same. So you get kind of used to the rotation, and it's all about like landing the height, right? So let's do that. Okay. So let's try that out. So let's try a brand new 3D world. I think it'd be best if we started off with a new template here. Okay. Now, let's see here. Double click on a 3D world. Now what I want to do is I want to throw this thing up, and it's going to be like, it's going to be kind of like slingshot. Let's see here. You know what? I'm going to try something real fast. Instead, I think actually Smart Penguins, I believe, had a pretty good template to look at here as an example. Nice job, Smart Penguins. He's doing the live streams. Well done. Hey, I'm going to join you for one of your live streams coming up, by the way. I think that it'd be fun. You're always sitting in on mine, so I'm going to sit in on yours too. Help support you. I'm going to watch you do your stuff. I'm going to ask you super hard questions. No, I'm just joking. Okay. Let's take a look. No, I'm not going to save. So this is what I'm thinking, right? You have something like this, or let's see here. What did you have? Oh, that's the boomerang. Oh, okay. Sorry, this is a different one. Okay, this is a different example. Really, really awesome though. Great example. Thank you again, Smart Penguins, for doing that one. Let's do this one. One shot. That's the one I was talking about. But yeah, his templates are amazing. So please check them out. Okay, this one. Wait. No. This isn't it. There's a slingshot one. Where's the slingshot one? Wait. Okay, one shot with is touched. Wasn't there a slingshot one that we were looking at? I'm almost positive. Weird. Okay, so Hue, maybe Hue, you can get your hands on it. There's a slingshot template, right? That's kind of like Angry Birds, right? Where you pull up, right? And I'm thinking it's kind of, all right. Well, I guess I'll just try to make it from scratch again. Let's do this. Okay. So weird. Okay. So we want to do something like we'll need an is touched, I'm pretty sure. And that's going to be for the dragging up part. And you'll need like something like the slingshot. You know what? There we go. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do the pool game. Yeah, that one's probably the easiest, because what I'll do is I'll use this as an example, but the only thing that needs to be switched around is the direction. So right now you're pulling back, but what you want is you want to put forward and it go flying the opposite, go flying up. So this is a little bit closer. So let's do this. Let's make it a cube. Let's make the sphere a cube. Okay, and then let's see here. Q line, 3D mode. Okay. So this is the force is applied here. Yikes. Okay. This is a tough one for me to show right now. I'd probably need to add the angular velocity. I'd probably have to add an angular velocity line of code here, because basically once the touch is ended, right here at the very bottom of the code, it's this line right here where you set linear velocity, right? Well, right there, I'd probably want to set the angular velocity as well, and then it releases. So maybe I could just do. Let's see here. Let's try it. Let's do angular velocity again. Angular velocity. I'll try to be fast. You know what? I'm gonna skip coding because I've done enough coding today. I'm gonna try to make a note of it right now, and I'll try to send you a BB-Doc example of it. Okay. So that is for Zurich. Good questions today, by the way, man. Really, really good questions. I'll go ahead and see if I can do it. Okay. So I'm going to make a note right now. Need to create example of knife flip. It's going to be something like some sort of, probably rotation animation would be good, but the problem with rotation animation is it has a certain duration, and it only goes that rotates that amount for that long. And the other thing is the rotate node, right? So the rotate node is just going to keep rotating and rotating and rotating and rotating. It's not going to stop rotating at that speed. So what you need an angular velocity so that when it goes firing off, it has the same angular velocity force every single time, and it just spins, lands, and spins, lands in different positions. So I'm gonna go. That one's gonna take me a little bit longer, but I'm interested in doing that for you. So I'm gonna make sure it happens. Okay. So I'm gonna need to create a knife flip example for Zurich. Okay, for Zurich. Awesome. Okay, cool. Prasad. Knew how to make FPS games in Buildbox, first-person shooter games. So one thing that you could do, right, is you could, let's say, I'll go ahead and I'll start a new 3D world here. Let's just start from scratch. Okay, let's say you've got a gun, right? You got a weapon. Let's call this. Let's let this be the barrel of the gun. Okay. So, and then let's get this world some ground so we can move around on the ground. Yikes! What happened to you? Oh, I'm moving the ground. That's why. Okay, let's move this up. Let's barrel of the gun. We'll shrink this down a little bit. Make it look more barrel-esque. Okay, cool. Lift this up. Let's get this sucker back over here and rotated forward so it looks kind of like a gun in the corner, right? Something like this. Maybe you're right-handed and you're shooting a gun. Okay. It's kind of more of like a barrel, I think. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe we'll add in like an extra 3D model in here for a cube. Yeah, something like a little lower. Maybe too lower. Yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. So now we've got like kind of this. I mean, it's pretty rough, right? Let's not critique it too much, but yeah, it's a gun there. Okay, now we have make the gun be the character, make the camera move with the rotate, follow the character, rotate, follow and position, follow the character. Then let's do a couple stationary objects out there so you can see what's going on. I'll go ahead and make another scene here so that you can see what's up. Let's go here. Cool. Got to get rid of that cylinder in the second level. Okay, cool. And then very good. Now let's give the character some movement, or let's do touch move. Probably invert Y. I don't know on this one. Oops. Nope. Hold on one second. 3D world. Cylinder needs to be kinematic. And let's go right here. Okay, the rotate follow is wonky. So let's rotate. Let's see here. Let's do none for right now. Yeah, because the rotation follow is a little bit funky. You need to be able to like pan left and right. That part is a little bit tougher. Okay. So, all right, the follow force there. Follow offset needs to be a little bit different. Okay, let's do -1 there. Okay, and back, I think 2, and maybe -1 here. Okay, oops, wrong direction. Okay, and then I think maybe -5. Okay, too high. Sorry, my bad. All right, -3. Okay, so this is like, you know, you're kind of moving around. You want to probably make it so that that you're moving forward instead. So world Y, let's see here. Nope, invert Y. Let's see here, world Y. Yeah, okay. So then invert Y. Okay. So it's a little bit off, but you can get this so that it's like, you know, turning around with the character and moving. I think it would probably be better if you had buttons, you know, in the corner for the move, for moving. Don't do the touch move like I just did. I'm just trying to give you an example. But let's say you had you know, let's do keyboard button, right? And let's say let's do movement, right? And you have it be -1. And then when it's released, you're back to 0, 0, 0. Okay, and let's do -5 because that's going to be super slow. And then let's just have this be the up arrow key. Okay, and then you can see now I'm moving upwards, right? And then if I wanted to add, like, you know, another keyboard button here, I could do this, do a couple more of these guys, and make myself, I could move right by, let's see here, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, this and this, make it move not -5 in the 0 direction, but maybe like +3 or something, or +5 in the X direction, it'd be 0, 0 again, make it go to the right. So now I can go up and right and like move around like this. And I can do left and stuff, and then you need to just do, let's see here, rotation is the last part. Rotation animation, camera rotation animation. Yeah, but I want you to be able to like rotate the camera around nicely. So I think what it is I need to change this cylinder here. So you see how it's faced upright, and then we are rotating it in the scene so that it looks like a barrel of a gun. Well, what we need to do is we need to rotate it here in the 3D model, so that when the camera is following it, it's like it's not what's happening is the camera rotation follow is immediately shifting like this because the object is shifted like that. So you have to have the object like angled correctly for it to work correctly. So let's just do that. Okay, so let's do right here, we'll change this 3D model to be rotated by 90. Nope, that's not it. Not 90 there. Huh. Oh, this one. Let's do 90 here. Okay. Nope. 90 there. And then down. And over 2. Let's do -2. I think it's -2. Okay. Let's take a look real quick. This is going to mess up our object in our scene. Yeah, now you can see it's completely messed up, but that's okay. So then we're going to rotate this thing around so that it's not messed up anymore. So let's do 0. Oops, 0. Let's change the scale again to, let's change all this back to 0, 0, 0. Oops, or 1, 1, 1, I mean. And then rotation 0, 0, 0. Okay, cool. And I think all we want to do here is scale it out a little bit. Yeah, and then let's press play. Okay, cool. And we got that a little bit. All right, perfect. I might scale it out just a little bit more. And probably move it back, the camera back a little bit, so the follow offset isn't so bad in the Z direction. Let's do 0, or let's do 1. Oops, okay, let's do -3. All right, -4. All right, let's do -6. Okay, cool. All right, and then I would probably do -1.5, something like that. Okay, so then you've got like this gun sort of thing going on, and then you can give. I think you can do the rotation follow now on the character. Okay, yeah, and then when you rotate the character around, now this is the last part. Let's see here. Rotation animation. No, I just think I need to do rotate the character around. And I think it's like this, actually. So I'll do another UI button. I'll do a UI button, or no, a keyboard button. And I'll have it set so that, let's see here. Let's set it to a timer. This is going to be a funky way to do this, but I think it's going to work. I think we actually worked on this together. Smart Penguins helped me out with this one, I believe. Okay, and then rotation animation, I just deleted it like a dummy. Okay, rotation animation. So we have the duration be something like 0.1. We have the delta be like really, really low, like 1. Do linear easing. Keep the model name empty so it does the whole thing. The timer, we'll set it to seconds, and we'll set it to like 0.1 seconds. And then the number of events, we'll just have it be, let's see here. or it might be is touched, actually. We'll see. I think we use this with is touched. Let's try this real fast. Let's try the keyboard button assigned to A. Let's have it try to rotate. Okay, so you can see it's starting to rotate and the camera's following it, but this is, I want it a little bit more, a little faster. Let's do 1,000. I'm curious if this works. Yeah. So you can turn it like this, and you can also turn it the other way. But it's weird that the rotation is not holding position, right? Because the rotation should be holding position on the object there. And then you can turn it the other way too. Rotation follow. Interesting. Cylinder. Leaning factor. Field of view. That's strange. It's strange that. Let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't rotate all the way back anymore. That's strange. Like it'll rotate like 45 degrees, but the camera will rotate like 35 degrees. Interesting. Okay, well, let me take a look at that one a little bit later. I'm gonna make a note of that as well. Check rotation follow, and make sure that I'm doing this correctly, because I believe I'm setting this up correctly. And I'll go ahead and I'll share this as an example in the Discord just for right now. It's kind of a half-baked example, but I feel like it can kind of get you part of the way there. So I'm going to check rotation follow on camera with the dev team. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and save this. I'll get rid of the slingshot. You don't need this. Go ahead and save. I'll call this... save it to the desktop, and then we'll save it as FPS shooter example. Okay, perfect. And then I'll throw this onto Discord. And then I think that is, I'm going to try to answer just a couple more questions, and then I'm going to call it a day, okay? Because it's 11:54 right now a.m. I've been doing this for about 3 hours, so I think we're good. I'm going to grab some lunch after this. Hopefully this was a good session for you guys. I know I went a little bit dense into the coding at the start of the session, so I'm sorry if you were crazy about that. Can we make something like a black hole with a limited radius? Yes, you can. You can make something like a black hole, and the way I would do it is I would do something like this. So I'm going to just use a sphere for right now as an example. Okay, I'll get rid of this guy. Let's do sphere. This is going to be our black hole. Okay. And let's make it black. Okay. And basically, you can have, let's do another little sphere here. Let's call this one be the, let's have this one be the black hole. Okay. Let's let this be just debris. The debris is going to be smaller, and it's going to be dynamic. The black hole is going to be stationary or static. Okay, let's get some stuff around the black hole here. Yep, okay, cool. So we got some debris around this black hole. And then we're going to use a gravity node. Oops, movement, gravity. Interesting. So this actually should be gravitate. The name of this should be gravitate. So we're going to fix that as well coming up. So we'll do gravitate, and then we just need to make sure that this is set to kinematic, or static. Static would be fine too. And then we just need to make sure that the debris has like a decent amount of mass. Or opposite. We need to make sure the black hole has a decent amount of mass. And then let's take a look. Oops. Okay. 1 second. Sometimes like if this is the older version of this node, then that means that we need to have it set as a character, I believe, in the characters menu, and it might even have to be a character. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Black hole, gravity. All right, let's take a look. Interesting. So, nothing, huh? Okay. Nothing. No nothing. Nothing at all, huh? Wow. Okay. What am I doing wrong? So gravity. Yeah. All right, debris. Set to dynamic. Cool. Friction. Gravity, let's crank it up maybe. 20. And then the mass should be dense. It should be... Alright, let's try this then. Let's try lowering the mass on the black hole and upping the mass on the debris. What the heck? Okay. Let's try this then. Maybe it's this needs the gravity. Okay, so gravitate, gravity. Let's do 9. Let's make sure that the mass is turned down on this. The mass is turned up on this, so it'll gravitate towards anything that has a ton of mass. There it is, black hole. Okay. There it is. I accidentally put the gravity node on the black hole, but the gravity node needs to be on debris. And then that means it's going to gravitate towards the black hole. So we can probably crank down the mass a little bit. But that is like a black hole that's just sucking everything in. So that's probably an example, probably a decent example of a black hole. Let me get rid of this green object here. Take a quick look at this guy. The camera. We'll have it do no position follow, no rotation follow, and the offset. We'll have it all just dialed in again. Okay, let's take a look at that. Yeah, I feel like that's a decent black hole. And then if you want to make the sphere look more like a black hole, you can do stuff like, probably get your own image, or maybe you just like take the opacity down a little bit, right? Something like this. And maybe like you could even like stack a couple of them on top of each other. Maybe do like a little something like this. Do some blending, do some additive stuff. Maybe you get like I don't know, that's less of a black hole than I was looking for. But anyways, you can get something kind of going on with that. I'm going to revert it back to just being completely black, and then with no opacity off. Okay, so let's take a look at this one last time. Cool, pretty cool black right there. Black hole. I'll go ahead and press save. And then you can make it so that, like, watch this, dude. You wanna see something cool? Watch this. I got an idea. Check this out. You make this sucker get big, right? Make the black hole be big. This is a little trick here for you. Make the black hole be big. Decrease the collision shape, right? Make the collision shape be super, super small. Something like that. Then, when the debris hits it, watch this. So get a remove, right? Get a remove node. Get a if collide node, right? and say that, okay, if I collide with the black hole, I want it to remove it from space, you know? I don't want I want it to just be completely gone. All right, let's take a look. Ah, darn it. Okay, so it removes all of them. So let's just do defeat. Maybe it'll just defeat each one. Ah, darn it! It deletes them all. Shoot. But because it'll do the whole thing. Yeah. So what you could do, it'd be a pain in the butt, but you could make a bunch of these debris, right? So you'll make, like, you say, okay, it's got gravity, it's this black hole. If it collides with a black hole, it's going to be defeated. And then you do this. You go, okay, so get out of collision shape mode. Delete. Oh man, I wish they had set this up for me. Okay, let's go ahead and move this out of here. Do multiple select. Delete all those. Move the black hole back in. Get the debris going again, but this time do debris 1, and make just a ton of copies, right? Ton of copies of debris. Okay, then drag them all out, make them different sizes, maybe. I'm just going to do a couple of these. Okay, and let's do a little bit more, right? A little bit more of these. Okay. And now it should really look cool, right? I'll go ahead and save this as, oh, I messed up the FPS shooter example, but I'll save this as a black hole example. Hole example. Okay, save. All right, now watch this. They're all going to get sucked in one at a time, and they're going to be removed one at a time. Should do it. Wait, something's going on. The collision shape is off. Let's see here. If collide with black hole. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's shoot. That's annoying because they're all cubes. What's happening in the background? It looks like they're hitting the ground and then disappearing. Yeah. It should be so that when they're colliding with, it should be that when they're colliding with the black hole, not with anything. Oh my goodness, that's such a weird bug. Okay, let's try this out. All right, so, my goodness. All right. If collide, character. Okay, hold on. I'm going to save this black hole example. I'm sending this over to you, Hugh, right now because this is a bug and we need to fix this later, okay? Because it's colliding with the ground and it's registering that it's colliding with the black hole, and it's not. And it's not. So it should be character. Here. Okay. Let's try this. Cool. Then they're all kind of like gravitating in there, and then they're slowly disappearing, you know? So let's see here. Let's see here. Character. Almost done, guys. That's annoying. Okay. All right, we got this. Okay, now let's lower this down just a little bit. Right there. Make it a little bit easier. Turn off debug mode. And we've got a black hole. See? And they get sucked in and they disappear. So let's try this. Right here. Sucks in the hole and they all go disappearing. And then, yeah, Hugh has got another black hole example. So I'll go ahead and I'll give you this one. And then Hugh says he's got another one right now to give me. So I'll go ahead and drop this into the live stream. And then Hugh's got one for me. I'll try out. Okay, I want to try out the one and remove the shadow of the black hole. Thank you, whoever said that. Who was that? Cigar? Or Abmora. Abmora. Yeah. Abmora, that's a good idea. Remove the shadow of the black hole. So, Cigar, I messed that up. Listen to Abmora on that one. Remove the shadow of the black hole. Right? Duh. Because I don't know why I left that on. So yeah, I'm glad that this helped. And then, ooh, heck yes, this is cool. This looks awesome. Let's check out this black hole. Interesting. Oh, that's a cool example. Hugh, where did you get this little sucker? Is this just, are they just gravity? Is it just falling? Is this new, man? Is this a new thing? How did you do that? How did you do that, Hugh? That's so funny. That's cool, man. All right, well, let's share this one too. I'll go ahead and I'll share this with everybody too. I like this one a lot, Hugh. Good job. Thank you. So Hugh just sent me another black hole example. It's the file is just blackhole.bbdoc. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm really glad that this session went well. There was a couple questions that I still need to answer, and I'll get back to you on that. But I feel like this was a good session. Thank you guys so much for joining. And yeah, we're doing another QA tomorrow morning, so I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and I'll have probably a couple of answers for you. All right, see you guys. See you, Boxers.